A horrific lynching captured on camera on a university campus. The victim is a star student, Mash'al Khan, who describes himself as a humanist. The mob, though, think he's a blasphemer. His attackers are his classmates and even university employees.
This was Mash'al Khan's room where he tried to hide from the mob. They found him here. They kicked him, they beat him, they hit him with sticks and they shot him.
They were happy. When they were beating him, they were happy.
The issue of blasphemy has long divided Pakistani society, and some hope this case could finally lead to some reform.
सोसाइटी को मुजरिमों से इतनी नुकसान नहीं हो सकती जिस तरह यानी शरीफ लोग और तालीम याफ्ता लोग जो है ना वो खामोशी इख्तियार करें.
But others are deadly opposed to that.
हम कहते हैं कि उसको शहीद कहना इतनी ही तौहीन है जिस तरह वो करता था.
This is the village of Zeda in Pakistan's northern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. It's where Mash'al Khan grew up. And it's where his family still live. They're trying to keep his room just as it was before his death.
Mash'al was a big inspiration for you then, was he, with his awards?
He was great inspiration for me because he said, and he did work with me, a lot of work, and he said me that you will get awards like me.
Supporters have composed poems and songs in Mash'al's honor. For Mash'al's normally reserved father, himself a left-wing poet, they can be hard to listen to.
और इब्तिदा से कुदरत ने उसको मतलब एक सूफी फलसफी और एक अदीब शायर पैदा किया था और बड़ा प्यार वाला बंदा था और मोहब्बत वाला था, अमन का बात करता था, सब्र का बात करता था, बेतशद्दुद का बात करता था.
Mash'al spent a year studying in Russia. The experience broadened his horizons. When he came back, he decided he wanted to become a journalist.
पहले वो इंजीनियरिंग के लिए गया तो उसने बाद में कहा कि यार मैं सहाफ़ी बनना चाहता हूँ, मैं लोगों के मसाइल की बात कर सकता हूँ और इसके हवाले से मैं सच्चाई भी बयान कर सकता हूँ.
Abdul Wali Khan University is one of Pakistan's newest institutions, with a student population of over 12,000. It's just an hour's drive away from Mash'al's village. The campus has been closed since Mash'al's murder.
Over there, that building is the Department of Journalism that he used to study at. Over there is the hostel that he lived in, and is where he died.
Mash'al stood out here for his intelligence and his liberal views, but he had plenty of close friends.
He's Abdullah.
So that's Mash'al.
That's Abdullah, that's Mash'al, that's me.
This is him alongside Abdullah, who would also be accused of blasphemy, and Fahim, another journalism student.
We are just gossiping.
What was your first impression of him when you met him?
That he's a kind of a genius guy.
What was it about him that made you think that?
His thoughts, the way he spoke in the class and this whole thing. He used to read Karl Marx. He was a big fan of Karl Marx.
Mash'al would debate with more conservative students. He described himself as a Muslim, but also as a liberal. Over time, debates turned to threats.
तो इस तरह की बात ये जो ब्लास्फेमी की बात हो रही इस तरह मेरे सामने कभी उन्होंने नहीं की. He used to discuss with religious fanatics. He knew that, but he used to discuss these things.
And what would they talk about? What was their discussions about?
About Islam and religion. यही बहस के दौरान मशाल के साथ कोई तकरार हुई थी तो उसके बाद मशाल तस्बीह लेकर आता था.
ये थ्रेट क्यों किया?
क्योंकि वो समझते थे कि he is an atheist, agnostic और वो अपने साथ और लोगों को भी मिला लेगा और स्टूडेंट्स को भी, तो इसको हमें रोकना चाहिए इसको.
Did he ever think that he should stop talking about his views, or?
Yeah, several times he thought that, but I think he couldn't. He was outspoken.
Blasphemy is probably the most emotive topic in Pakistan. It's legally punishable by death. Though no one's ever been executed for it, dozens who've been accused of it have been killed by mobs.
In the lead up to Mash'al's killing, the authorities were talking about banning all social media to prevent what they call blasphemous material being spread online. And even after Mash'al's death, the Pakistan Telecoms Authority sent out this text message to all Pakistanis saying, uploading and sharing of blasphemous content on the internet is a punishable offence under the law. Such content should be reported for legal action. And what critics say is that this kind of message encourages a kind of vigilantism.
Blasphemy allegations are often used in Pakistan as a way to settle personal feuds. Mash'al's father believes this video of him criticising alleged corruption in the university a few days before his death led to a conspiracy against him. Police have also collected evidence suggesting student politicians, jealous of Mash'al's influence, wanted him out of the university. It's hard to know what of that is true. What we do know is that most of those who took part in the violence did believe Mash'al was a blasphemer.
I think at one time, the notion or the thing or plan of action in Pakistan was that if somebody wanted to get someone killed, they'll go hire what we came to know as target killers, guns for hire, mercenaries. Now, just release a rumor that this guy committed blasphemy. He'll either be killed or forced to leave the country.
Dozens of Mash'al's fellow students who appeared in the videos of the killings have been arrested. Some were members of religious student organisations, others left-wing ones. I wanted to understand what was behind their brutality. I've managed to get hold of some of their statements to police.
One of the statements is from one of Mash'al's fellow journalism students. His name's Rajahat, and in it, in the slightly bizarre language of the Pakistani court system, he says he's long accused Mash'al of having nefarious and devilish designs, as well as an anti-Islamic attitude. We're about to go and meet Wajahat's father.
Wajahat is not accused of having beaten Mash'al, but of helping incite the attacks by accusing him of blasphemy in front of a group of other students. His father is a retired university professor who spent 5 years studying in Dundee.
Had he ever spoken to you about this boy, Mash'al Khan, before?
Yes. He told me that this guy is talking about blasphemy. I told him, let inform your chairman, department chairman, and ask him to settle the problem.
He's adamant Mash'al was committing blasphemy and should have been expelled by the university.
In the law, nobody should commit blasphemy, otherwise he will be hanged. But what will happen if somebody is repeatedly going this, saying this, and nobody is taking action? So who is responsible for this?
Do you think that Mash'al has some responsibility over his own death, basically?
Yes, he is responsible for his own death. I think so. If my son commits blasphemy and somebody kills him, so he is responsible for this death.
The day of the lynching, it seems, began like any other. Mash'al apparently had no idea what was about to happen. A group of students demanded to see the lecturers, accusing Mash'al and 2 of his friends of having committed blasphemy. They first attacked one of Mash'al's friends, but he was eventually rescued by police. The mob began to swell in number, chanting slogans against Mash'al. But Mash'al was hiding in his hostel. Friends had warned him the mob was after him. He began frantically calling and texting friends. We've seen some of his last messages. Mash'al writes, "They're falsely saying I insulted the Prophet." His friend asks, "Now what's happening?" Then, "Mash'al, where are you?" Mash'al never replied. The mob found him on the second floor of his hostel.
Here's his room. It's still in the same condition. It's kind of incredible. I came here the day after the murder. It's now over a month. And it's like nothing's changed. This room is in exactly the same mess that it was the day Mash'al died, down to what seems to be one of his last meals and its remnants lying over there. The only thing that seems to have changed is that here, when I came the day after the murder, he had a poster of Che Guevara and a poster of Karl Marx, and someone's ripped them down. So these are the bloodstains where it seems the authorities think that Mash'al was lined up against the wall and shot. At least 2 eyewitnesses that I've spoken to say that after he was shot, he was still alive, and they tried to carry his body back down the stairs to try and get him some help, because after the shots had rung out, the mob dispersed and they were able to try and rescue him. They told me that his last words that they were saying to him was, he was reciting the Muslim statement of faith that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. But when they got to the bottom of these stairs, the mob had reassembled and they'd managed to grab his body back.
From this point, Mash'al's last moments are captured on mobile phones. His fellow students beat him as he lay dying. The videos were instantly shared across Pakistan. Their brutality and the brazen nature of the killers, who make no attempt to disguise their identity, shocked the nation. Mash'al was eventually dragged outside. Even long after he was dead, they continued beating his body. Police were present, but were either unable or unwilling to stop them. Even more gathered, some just to watch the spectacle, some to aim a kick or even spit on Mash'al's body.
They were saying that, "Aao maro ke sawab mile aapko. Laat maro, hit him." They were happy. When they were beating him, they were happy.
After killing Mash'al, the mob gathered in celebration. Leading them is a local councillor for a mainstream political party, one of the few remaining suspects still at large. Mash'al's battered body was eventually recovered by the police and taken home to his family.
हमने हमारे जो लड़के थे नौजवान उन्होंने अंदर साफ किया बराबर किया तब जो है ना वो अपनी माँ के सामने लाया और बहनों के सामने और लोगों के सामने ले आया लेकिन मैं कहता हूँ तारीख़ का बहुत बड़ा जुल्म किया गया था उसको हम अल्फाज में बयान नहीं कर सकते हैं
I'm still struggling to understand what led to this massive escalation in violence. Why did the students form a mob now? And what exactly was it they found so offensive? I was hoping that a document I'd obtained, written by one of the accused, Wajahat, might give me a clue.
We've got hold of another letter written by Wajahat to a number of religious scholars who he's effectively encouraging to support the killers of Mash'al Khan. And in it, he goes into a lot more detail about the alleged blasphemy that Mash'al was committing. He talks about one conversation in particular that he had with Mash'al about Adam and Eve, in which Mash'al is saying, well, why is incest forbidden in Islam if Adam and Eve's children would have had incestuous relationships with each other for mankind to exist?
Wajahat is being held at Merdan Central Jail along with over 50 others arrested for Mash'al's murder. I got rare access to the suspects.
We did manage to speak to Wajahat, and he said that on the day of the murder, no one set out with the intention of killing Mash'al. They wanted, in his words, to give him a few slaps, hand him over to police, and have him expelled from the university. The jail, though, is full of other suspects, and I managed to speak to someone who was involved in the physical violence, another journalism student called Imran, who shot Mash'al. And he says he has no regrets about what he did. He's very open in saying he believes Mash'al Khan deserved to die.
Mash'al's killers have their sympathizers. This was a rally just weeks after the murder, calling Mash'al a blasphemer. It was addressed by a number of former MPs, including this man, Maulana Shuja al-Mulk, a leading local figure in an Islamist party. He was one of the clerics Mujahid sent his letter to from jail. I want to ask him about these supposedly blasphemous comments.
The letter that Mujahid wrote, that you received as well, says that Adam's children must have committed incest for the human race to evolve. Is that blasphemy to raise that as a point?
ये तो बहुत सारे सवालों में से, बहुत सारे तौहीन में से ये भी एक सवाल था कि आपका यानी माशरे में अपने बहन के साथ जिनसी ताल्लुक़ में कोई यानी मज़ायका नहीं है, आप इसकी पाबंदी न करें, ये पाबंदी छोड़ो.
But you think that wasn't a philosophical argument he was making?
उसके जहन में वो ये नहीं है कि ये मालूम करना चाहता है, बल्कि लोगों को वो तरगीब देता है कि उसको माइल करे कि ये काम करें.
We're talking about whether Mash'al committed blasphemy or not, but for lots and lots of people around the world, it's irrelevant. No matter what he said, whatever he might or is alleged to have said, nothing can justify killing someone, and especially not in that way.
एक justification एक अलग चीज़ है. Justification तो लोगों को देता है, वो अदालत देता है, जज देता है. हम ये नहीं कहते कि लाश के साथ इस तरह होना चाहिए, या शरीयत ये कहती है, या इस्लाम ये कहता है, बल्कि सज़ा भी इस तरह हो कि बस अगर उसको मारना भी है तो तकलीफ ही ना हो, बस इसको दफन करना है बस.
इसको देखकर सुकून भी होता है, क्योंकि ये अजीम इंसानों को जो है ना जब आदमी देखते हैं तो दिल और भी मजबूत होता है.
40 days after Mash'al's death, the family are hosting a commemoration service. A loose, progressive movement is building around his memory.
मशाल खान को सुर्ख सलाम पेश करने के लिए
ठीक है, वो जो है ना उसको कत्ल किया गया बहुत जालिमाना और दरिंदगी के साथ, लेकिन कम से कम उसकी इस वाक़े ने दुनिया के ज़मीर को झंझोड़ा. सब आए हैं यहाँ पर और उन्होंने इजहार हमदर्दी भी किया है, ताज़ियत भी किया है, और हमारा हौसला भी बढ़ा है. और ख़ुद भी मैं कहता हूँ कि ये हमारे वतन में फूल थे जो यकजा हो रहा है, अब उसका गुलदस्ता बन रहा है.
A few thousand turn out for the rally. The red caps belong to supporters of a local left-wing political party. Others are just individuals wanting to show solidarity. None of the mainstream political parties are here, but by Pakistani standards, it's unprecedented given the accusations against Mash'al. Banners proclaim him as a martyr. But the movement in honour of Mash'al is also gathering enemies. Despite repeated announcements from the police that Mash'al had not committed blasphemy, Shuja al-Mulk is convinced he was.
हम कहते हैं कि उसको शहीद कहना इतना ही गुनाह है, इतनी ही तौहीन है जिस तरह वो करता था.
And he is adamant there'll be no change to the blasphemy laws.
एक दफ़ा आप कहें कि हमने इस दफ़े में हमने तरमीम करना है, फिर आप धरने देखेंगे, फिर हालात देखेंगे, फिर पाकिस्तान का चलना ये बिल्कुल स्टॉप हो जाएगा.
And some people would say, why do you even need a blasphemy law? Because why would God or any of the prophets be worried by someone insulting them?
अल्लाह को कोई तकलीफ नहीं है, लेकिन कानून उसी का है कि उसको मारो.
Even other religious scholars have come out in support of Mash'al and said that the way he was killed was wrong and that we have to guard against false accusations of blasphemy. But none of them, and not even any of the secular parties, are really seriously considering or discussing reforming or abolishing blasphemy laws, because it's just such a sensitive topic here, and they know there would be such popular resistance to it. And that's what's so dangerous about it, because these laws are actually, unlike the Taliban, unlike extremist groups, they're actually quite popular here with ordinary people.
Abdul Wali Khan University has now reopened, although some students told us they were trying to transfer, worried by its new reputation. The university reopening was a chance for me to finally talk to the university administration.
Isn't it a failure of the university that its students held, or some of its students held, such extreme views that they thought it's acceptable to lynch and kill someone in this way?
It's a failure of Abdul Wali Khan University, but it's a failure of Pakistani education system. It's a failure of Pakistani social and political system and Pakistani society as a whole.
Wajahid's father lives in the shadow of the jail that now houses his son. He's worried about his son's future, but also the country's.
If now we are becoming atheists, and the people are free to make people atheists, then what was the need of making Pakistan?
And do you think this atheism is spreading in Pakistan?
I think it is, because people like you and the media, who are giving more and more attention to such atheistic views, of course it will grab the whole country in very near future, because nobody will be safe. Their honor will not be in safe hands, and we will lose our identity.
There are still so many questions around Mash'al's death. Could the police have done more? Could the university administration? There are concerns failings could be covered up.
जहाँ तक इंसाफ का ताल्लुक है, तो इस मुल्क में कभी भी ऐसा नहीं हुआ है। ये असल में हमारा जो माशरा है, ये गुनाहों का एक पलीद दंड है, यानी तालाब है हमारा इधर का, और इसमें हर एक आदमी डूबा हुआ है। हम तो ये नहीं कहते हैं कि यार मशाल के हवाले से इस माशरे में फ़ौरन कोई इनकलाब बरपा या तब्दीली हो जाएगी। पाकिस्तान के अंदर जो है ना, मकालमे को रवाज देना होगा और नज़रियात को अपनाना होगा, तो ये बहुत अच्छी बात होगी, रोशनी की बात है, और तब जो है ना ये अंधेरे जो है ना ये छुटते जाएंगे आहिस्ता आहिस्ता।